Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the shop. Hang on a minute. Okay, that's better. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the shop and welcome to the PT Cruiser, which is sitting a bit taller than usual. That's, well, it's broken and has been for a little while here, so it's up on jacks. But we're not going to fix it today because, well, effort. Instead, I would like to direct your attention to the interior, more specifically, this factory radio. Now, this is what we in the industry being insufferable, this is what we would call basic. This is in like a Goldilocks zone of awful, where it's not basic enough to have a cassette deck where you can just put in a cassette adapter and plug your phone into it, but it's also not advanced enough to have Bluetooth or an aux port or anything like that. Instead, you have a 6-disc changer for your Alan Parsons Project CDs. I don't know. What's a CD that people listen to? I actually really like Alan Parsons. But anyway, yeah, it does things. You're pretty much limited to 72-minute CDs or terrestrial radio, one of which is terrible and the other one of which is CDs. So this needs to go. Fortunately, I was walking around LQ the other day and I found this guy. Look at that. That is a Chrysler RB1 navigation head unit. Factory from Chryslers of this era with the 1.5 DIN opening. I could have gone aftermarket, but your options with aftermarket are either a 1 DIN that looks ridiculous because this is like 1.5 DIN and oval, so nothing standard actually fits and fills this space, or spending $300 on an Android head unit that, yes, looks kind of OEM and cool, but that's a lot of money and I don't really care that much. But I got this for $30. So I'm going to go with a $30 option that is period correct, cool as heck. This came out of a loaded Town and Country. I can't believe I actually found one in good shape. And yeah, we're going to have some factory nav. Look at that. It's got a fan on the back of it. How cool is that? So first order of business is going to be cleaning this up. As you heard, I got the compressor charged up, so we'll just give this thing a quick dusting. And then we'll get to work on disassembling the center stack in this here PT Cruiser. I don't know what the PT stands for. This was supposed to be a Plymouth, so maybe like Plymouth Touring Cruiser. I had to get a little mechanical with the microfiber and a little bit of interior cleaner, but yeah, it's good enough in my eyes. Nice, clean little head unit. All right, so let's go get the old one out so that this thing can go in. Before we get too far into this, I'd just like to ask y'all to do the normal things like subscribe, comment. I really like reading your comments. And if your thirst for more content isn't satiated, check out my Instagram, which is linked down in the description. Or if you really want more, medium and top tier Patreon subscribers got to see this video early as well as others, including the time that I took my cheap $300 Ford Festiva off-roading. And they'll get to see a lot of other content early as well as exclusive content that will never end up on YouTube. So give that a shot. I also do just random posts, Q&As and stuff. Sometimes bottom tier Patreons get to see some text posts. Who knows? I haven't quite figured out what I'm doing with that yet, but actually more Patreon related stuff coming later. But for now, let's see about liberating this head unit here. So if I recall correctly, this is pretty it's very straightforward. Just a pry there, and there we go. Oh, I see. You got to push down on these tabs. Ooh, that one looks like they kind of cracked a little bit. And then typical Chrysler connector. Got to get the little red tab up and out of the way. There we go. And we can just pull and disconnect that. There we go. This whole assembly, simply pops out. Now we have a variety of fun things here. chiefly the radio itself. So 4 Phillips. And this is pretty much exactly how the Town and Country came apart. Looks like a couple of clips broke. Oh, dang it. Yeah, those tabs sheared off on the top. Fortunately, that's where the screw is, so I don't think we'll get too many rattles from those being broken. Goes a lot quicker with 2 hands, doesn't it? Okay, now this should just pull out. Okay, and it does. There we go. And then 1 multi-pin. Okay, and that's out. All right, now all we do is slap the new one in. Haha, just kidding. I would like to take this panel out as well, for reasons that will become obvious later. So it looks like it's 2 more screws and a whole bunch of connectors. It turns out it's just easier if you lightly pry on these tabs, top and bottom of these modules, just pop the modules out. Okay, yeah, you just push really hard on the blue piece and out it comes. Okay, so now we have this out for reasons that I will now go into detail about. So of course you can't just go throwing a navigation head unit into a car that didn't come with it. There is a couple things you need, chiefly this GPS antenna, which I'm told can just go anywhere under the dashboard. So we'll affix that somewhere under there, and that plugs into the back of the head unit. But this still doesn't have any way for me to get any decent media onto it or play through it. It's just really a neat novelty. So I went on eBay and I found this aux adapter that plugs into the CD changer port. So then when I push the button that is actually labeled CD/aux, this will play. Now, of course, that just gives us this male jack, which is not what I wanted, so I got this panel mount female to female. So this plugs in there, and then this mounts onto the front panel. So of course, right there in the middle, we'll drill a hole and mount that. So that's pretty cool. And then I also have this navigation DVD. This is the latest version. Super official with this incredibly low quality. Looks like a picture of an actual disc that has then been printed onto the label. The problem with these is that read error rate is rather high because this doesn't have as much contrast between the ones and the zeros as an original pressing would, since this is just burned by some dude on eBay. Bought this for like $5. So the issue there is that the laser in this is more designed for reading CDs than it is DVDs, and there's some speculation that the DVDs had unusually high, I guess, contrast between the dips and the valleys on the disc or what have you, that made it easier for the mechanism in this nav head unit to read them. I'm just kind of spitballing here on a lot of that. The moral of the story is that has the most up-to-date maps you're going to find for these, and it's going to be kind of a miserable experience, but I suppose that's part of the charm. So let's get a hole drilled for this guy in the front of this, put it there, and then plug all this stuff in. Sure. Okay, that's a pilot hole. This is my largest drill bit, so I sure hope this is enough. Here comes Big Chungus. Oh Lord. Punched through and then grabbed this, which I was using to hold this so it didn't get damaged, and it just took a huge chunk out. That's unfortunate, and the hole isn't big enough. Some extremely price hole wallowing out technique. Hey, worked like a charm. Man, it just completely destroyed that, didn't it? That back in. Put that back in. Put these guys back in. Okay, good. Those are all still upright. And where'd my module go? I'll take this cable. I'll just feed the cable it needs to plug in through here. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's tons of room. Tons of room. And that plugs in just like that. You know what? You can't even really see the damage from the driver's seat. Well, we got the GPS unit up there, and then the wires coming down through the side, and everything's here. It's time to put the thing in. All right, this is the GPS antenna. What a terribly unsatisfying click. That is the aux adapter. No idea what this yellow wire is for. Radio antenna. And these wires, of course, are not near as polite as I was and don't have near as much slack. Antenna in. Main connector. Likewise. I guess I should test it, shouldn't I? Oh! Oh! Do we have sound? Ooh, we have sound. Oh, Christmas strings. Okay. CD aux seems to be doing nothing. As it turns out, the yellow wire coming off the adapter needs to have a constant 12-volt source, so I use a DuPont crimp here to splice and tap into the constant 12-volt going to the 12-volt socket. So I'm going to tape that up with some 3M electrical tape again, and then I'll probably put a bullet connector on that to connect to the yellow wire so that everything is still removable. Fair. There we go. It's a whole bunch of nice insulated connections. There's links to the crimpers and the crimps themselves in my Amazon store. So go ahead and take a look at that. Again, those are affiliate links, so I'll get a cut. And I'll just kind of set everything in here this time. Chrysler. Nav, no disc. Changer. Ooh. Disc 1, track 1. Okay. Hey, hey. Yeah, there's at least 2 blown speakers, but hey, it works! What about the nav? It says, when I go to nav, no disc. It's been forever since I actually used an optical media drive. It's spinning up. Downloading software. Oh. Ooh. Sir, I intend to break all the traffic laws. Okay, we use that. Oh, I see. Oh, sweet. System information? Software 17? Okay, it's the most recent version. This is actually incredibly responsive map. Whoa! Oh, this is so cool. That is sweet. It has my location way off. Yeah, it doesn't quite know where I'm at. It's probably because I'm A, in a building, and B, don't have the antenna mounted on the roof, but it's off by quite a ways on my location. But how cool does that look? Hey, look at that. Center console is all back together. I would say it's a success, but we broke 2 clips and absolutely mangled this bottom section of the center console. But other than that, I can just enjoy some music. This is seriously the coolest. I'm stoked. All right, well, on to the next thing. So I'm going to use the last bit of this video to show off a little bit of what's going on with the Patreon and what we've been doing. I've been saving up for a couple months now, and I've been able to get something I've been wanting for quite a while, and here it is. This is a Jihoon Weebill 2 gimbal with my Sony A7 Mark III mounted to it. This is kind of the next stage in video equipment. This is the sort of thing that definitely requires another person to operate, but oh my gosh, the quality of image that you can get out of it is just insane, and it's just so cool watching these things work. Let's see, wake it up here. There we go. How neat is that? So what I'm going to do right now with this is I'm just going to give it a test run, and we're going to do a bit of a fleet update using the gimbal. Let's see how this goes. I have to remember how on earth to actually use a real camera. All right, let's take a look at what we got here. Starting with the BMW, of course, I've still got this. This is my daily driver, more or less. Still rocking the forged wheels. Everything's still pretty copacetic here. As far as daily drivers go, this has been a pretty good one. One upcoming project is fixing this little bit of body damage here. I've got a puller. I'm gonna try and pull that out straight. Something else I'd like to do up here, I want to delete the sunroof, make it go away completely. I don't like sunroofs. It contributes to a lot of rattles with this car. It's really, really annoying. And I never use it. So I just prefer for the sunroof to go away. Other than that, you know, it is a car. In there is the Miata. Not a lot's happened with that. I hardly ever drive it. I've got some big plans for it though. Lots of parts I've collected over the last 2 years or so, but this project needs to happen first. This is my 1995 Ford Ranger. Of course, the $700 truck that I bought with red Fox body Mustang seats and a manual transmission. And, that looks like coolant. That is a big puddle of coolant. Okay, well that's new, so I guess the Ranger has some work that's gonna need done. I wonder, I really hope that's not a freeze plug that came out. Well, shoot. Thanks, truck. I kinda need this thing to be a workhorse so I can get some other projects done, but looks like that'll be on hold for a minute. That's really cool. Of course, oh gosh, these tires need to go away. I don't like. I do not like it all, and it needs cleaned. Got to get all of the salt off of it, of course. Of course, now it looks like I've got to just fix the stupid thing. Dang it. That's not what I wanted to see. Good start, good start. Moving right along though, we've got the Buick Park Avenue Ultra, of course the car that I got from Tyler Hoovey of Hoovey's Garage. I need to put a wideband O2 sensor in this thing. That's really kind of all that this is waiting on so that I can do some more tuning with it. This door is broken. It does not open. And so I'm gonna have to figure out how to get the door panel off of it without opening it. And I've been procrastinating on that a bit. Of course, I'm gonna lower this a little bit, give it a slightly nicer stance, something that you don't usually see with these. So that'll be kind of neat. Other than that, I don't know. I've kind of been tossing around the idea of turbocharging it. Yes, it is already supercharged, but it's just a lot easier to make a boost with a turbo and possibly ditch the supercharger altogether. It's just way friendlier with these engines because you can intercool them, which is always a good thing. Over here, we've got the CarTrek Maxima. Lots going on with this. Lots of parts I've been getting. It's a bit snowy around here, so pardon me almost slipping and falling. Yes, it has the 370Z wheels on, but if we walk around it, oh look, it's got the 350Z wheels. I still haven't gotten tires on these. These just have the crap tires that were on here when I got it, and I have not yet been to the tire store. So this is just kind of sitting. I've got a whole bunch of parts for this to kind of finish this thing off, and then Yeah, I'm really excited for that. I'm actually gonna be working with another videographer here in town when I get this thing ready to go. So that's very, very exciting. No performance mods in the works yet. Although I do have a few interested parties in these wheels. So I might be able to sell those for some coin to help make other projects happen, such as this project. Are you ready? It's something that people have been talking about a lot on my channel. It's my shop itself. Yes, it needs work. This is a lot more than just paint. This is a lot more than just the fascia. This is actually the header panel is rotting and has been since I bought this house. And well, the reason it hasn't gotten fixed is because I don't have the money for it. There's a pretty big difference in a $500 gimbal and the probably $8,000 to $10,000 it's going to take to actually fix this shop, because not only will it need a header panel, it will need an entire front fascia. Let me just back up here. That is, yeah, that is quite a job. I've actually had 3 people so far tell me that it would actually be a better plan to bulldoze the whole shop and rebuild it, which is far, far beyond my economic means right now. So it's just kind of staying how it is at the moment. So let's see if I can one-hand the gimbal and unlock the shop. And we can go in here. Other plans for the shop, actually, before I go in there. Ignore this, it doesn't exist yet. That's not real. I'm working on leveling this out so I can park a car over here. I kind of want to put down more gravel, sort of like this stuff. I want to put that down everywhere, ideally. You can kind of see the fascia that this thing was made out of. It's just not a material that holds up, and it hasn't held up. So here we are. Going to the shop, I still have the little mini bike. Love that thing. Still have the Gold Wing. Don't love that thing as much. Still needs the carbs put back on. Working on that. I'm probably going to put the carbs back on, get it running without a fuel tank, and then sell it as running but needs work. This lens is far too narrow for in here. The PT Cruiser, obviously, still up in the air. Ow, my leg. We have the DT175. Currently making a video on that, which you may or may not have seen yet, depending on how things are going. And then we have the pasta rocket over here, which I have not touched since my track day, actually. As you can tell, the sticker is still on it. Plans for this, I've got a whole box. Let's see, I think it's up there. Let's see if I can zoom. There we go. Whole box of parts up there. You might notice some wiring. That is part of it, but all that stuff is for the Ducati eventually. We'll see when I actually get to it. And then up there, of course, my Gary Fisher Tassajara and my wife's Trek. My wife's Honda Rebel is back there, completely disassembled. We were building that into sort of a beach cruiser thing. Over here, we have the engine and transmission for a Honda Insight, and the head is over here on the bench. I'm building a spare powertrain for that car. And then there's the other 2 wheels for the Maximus sitting in my shrine of wheels. What a glorious thing it is. I think that about covers it. I have purchased a set of quick jacks finally. These were used. Got a pretty darn good deal on them. I think they were $1,000. That is going to make life far more easier for me. Let's head back outside here. I don't think there's really much of anything else. The quick jacks are going to make life way easier. I actually have a friend on the way to help me with the project involving those, but I think I'm going to take a moment before he gets here and take a look at what's up with this stupid Ranger. Actually, I guess I could just do that now. I hope it's not the heater core. Doesn't look like it is. There we go. I'm thinking it's a heater hose. Oh well. I guess that's the way it goes. So Oh yes, and then there's the Insight. My wife is driving that. The IMA battery has taken a dump, so it currently does not have hybrid assist. That's another $2,000 problem to solve. A much cheaper problem to solve on it is the high beams don't work. I actually have a Honda Civic light switch, which will hopefully solve that problem. So I might make a video about that, I might not, we'll see. But in the meantime, I'm kind of curious how smooth my amateur dolly footage was here. I'm just kind of playing around with this thing, sort of trying to figure out what I'm doing. Poorly maybe? Who knows? It's kind of fun though, considering I've never really used one before. I have a cell phone one by the same company, but you know. Oh, these shots are just so much fun to get, and I'm sure they look a lot smoother on my preview screen here than they do in real life, but you know, fun to mess around with, and you guys get a little look of what's coming up. So that's all pretty neat. I can use it for selfie mode too, but this weighs about 12 pounds, and I'm sure my face is literally the entire screen, so it doesn't work all that well. But that does it for today. I guess I'm gonna go cry about the Ranger. Thanks for watching.